on CBS.
Coming up, COVID-19 cases continue to surge in Kentucky and across the nation.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. In much of the country, the coronavirus is once again spreading out of control. The numbers of new cases, hospitalizations, and deaths have all risen in the last week and are expected to keep going up. CBS's Danya Backus reports from Los Angeles.
The Omicron variant continues to drive a spike in COVID-19 cases across the U.S.
We're not in a good place. I'm going to be really honest with you. This is the winter surge we predicted.
New York is one of several states dealing with a surge of new infections.
These numbers are rather shocking that when you think about where we are, but as we have to remind everyone, this is not the first strain of COVID-19. It is not the Delta variant.
The outbreak has turned traveling into a nightmare. Canceled flights piled up throughout the country with many workers either sick or in quarantine, and that was before a winter storm arrived.
My flight got canceled 3 times already, and it was due to a lack of crewmates.
Despite the surge, most of the nation's schools reopened for the New Year's first day of classes.
So it's still a little scary, but at least he gets to not be stuck in the house all day, so that's another thing.
On Monday, the FDA endorsed booster shots for children between 12 and 15 years old. The CDC could authorize the extra doses later this week. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Today, the FDA also announced that people eligible for a booster can now get the extra shot 5 months after their initial doses. The wait time had previously been 6 months. January 3rd marked the first day back after winter break for many Eastern Kentucky students. In Johnson County, it also marked a first day for another COVID-19 precaution. The Johnson County School District has adopted a test-to-stay option for students, which allows any student who's been exposed to COVID to test for the virus as opposed to being quarantined.
This is just another tool now that we're able to add to our arsenal to try to make sure that students all have a healthy and safe way to be able to go to school every day.
Those students who test negative will continue to be tested periodically during the 10-day period they would have been quarantined. Kentucky's COVID positivity rate has reached more than 20%, the highest it's ever been. The state reported 4,111 new cases today, bringing our case total to 879,057. There were 15 new deaths reported today as well, putting the Commonwealth's death toll now at 12,134. The positivity rate is at 20.72%. You can always find the latest COVID information on our website at WYMT.com. All Starbucks employees in the United States have a little more than 1 month to get vaccinated against COVID. The company sent that message to employees today. Workers who do not get vaccinated by February 9th will have to submit to regular testing, and they would have to pay for it themselves, and it cannot be taken at home. Starbucks is one of the first large restaurant chains mandating employee vaccinations. A federal judge is blocking part of the U.S. Navy's COVID-19 vaccine policy. The preliminary order blocks the Navy from taking adverse action against 35 Navy SEALs who filed a lawsuit because they refused to get the vaccine for religious reasons. The judge said the Navy's policy violated the free exercise of religion clause of the Constitution and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Court documents suggest more than 99% of active duty Navy service members have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The Omicron variant and increasing COVID cases continue to make it difficult to travel for those trying to catch flights. More than 100 flights were canceled or delayed at the Los Angeles International Airport due to short staffing or positive cases. But it's not just LAX that's facing this issue. Airlines across the nation are battling the struggle. One stranded traveler was hoping to make it to her final exams.
I was really planning on getting back to school today. You know, we have finals this week, and so I'm really frustrated with my level of stress that I now have due to dealing with the airline, and now I have to get in contact with my teachers about, you know, what I'm missing for finals.
Wintry weather in parts of the country has also led to delays and cancellations.
We ourselves had a little bit of that wintry weather this morning. Some of us saw a few inches of snow on the ground as we started our day. Many others, not so much. But either way, all of us felt the cold out there. I-64 at Moorhead, maybe a little bit of a dusting left, but otherwise it's just clear and cold outside. We take it at Pine Mountain camera along US 119. You can still see some of that snow that remains as you head up toward the ridgetop there, as we saw a few inches of snow in some spots during the daytime or during the overnight hours last night. High temperatures today stayed chilly. Many of us just getting to freezing or just above. Pikeville got to 29. If you were with us for Mountain News newscast this evening, you saw me not being able to feel several parts of my body out in our front yard a little bit earlier, and it's still chilly out there right now. Monticello already down to 21, though most of us in the middle to upper 20s this evening. Clear skies, that's what's going to help us drop tonight down into the low 20s in many spots, though those sheltered valley locations could see temperatures in the upper teens. And we may have a little bit more wintry weather on the way before things are said and done this week. I'll have those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, still a few school closings too tomorrow, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. Well, new tonight, a major rock slide in Floyd County. Take a look at this picture. The slide is blocking Kentucky 321 just north of downtown Prestonsburg. It's not known how long the road will be closed. Judging by that picture, it's not going to open anytime soon. Police say you should use US 23 to navigate in and out of town. Well, many of us did wake up to some snow for the first time in 2022 and this winter today. State crews were out around midnight checking road conditions and salting as needed. Snowplows removing snow on roads like US 119 on Pine Mountain. Crews say to be careful if you're out tonight because roads could refreeze.
On our higher elevations in the areas that we have problems with, we'll put pea gravels down on the road, and that helps with traction.
Well, crews say if you see a snowplow, make sure you give it plenty of space to keep everyone safe. The Sidney community of Pike County is working to clean up and move forward after weekend flooding, adding to the more than 100 homes and businesses hit by the storm. Fire department and community center were both hit, with the fire department unable to move its trucks as the water rose into the station. Many sets of turnout gear and other equipment was destroyed, and Pike County Judge Executive Ray Jones says he plans to work on a hazard mitigation grant to move the department out of the flood zone in the future to avoid a potential catastrophe.
I was here in 2009 when they flooded. You know, this department has in 2009 saved a lot of lives because of the high water. There were several swift water rescues that they did. And we got to make sure that the fire department's accessible.
Jones says this flood is the third to hit the county in less than 1 year, but it was the worst of them all, quickly rising and leaving a lot of destruction in its wake. WYMT and the Kentucky Blood Center held a blood drive today outside the station here in Hazard. Officials say around 15 people donated today. One of them was 83-year-old Charlie Click. He said he started giving blood when he was in the military.
For a long time. When I was in the military 3 times, I give blood to get a 3-day pass.
Officials with the Kentucky Blood Center say donating blood just once can save up to 3 people's lives. In Clay County today, state and local leaders announced 2 economic development partnerships. One titled Let Us Grow will bring 2 hydroponic farms to Clay County. The other will bring a new business called Mountain Market to Main Street. Senate President Robert Stivers says it will mean more than 25 new jobs for the county.
It starts mounting up, and as I said during the discussion, we've been able to pick up 40 jobs with VOA. We had about 60 or 70 remote working jobs we created with 80% retention.
The projects were made possible through Volunteers of America, Advent Health, and App Harvest. Happy update to a story we covered last Thursday on 2-month-old Grayson Cook of Floyd County. We told you Grayson was battling for his life after he started showing signs of sickness and cannot breathe. But now baby Grayson is vent tube free. There he is with a big smile on his face. Grayson's mother, Brianna Halbert, also shared that she got to hold him for the first time in almost 2 weeks. He's still expected to be in PICU for the next few days. Some firearms dealers will soon be required to make secure gun storage devices available for purchase. The Department of Justice issued the new rule for gun dealers with federal licenses today. Devices include gun safes, gun cases, and lock boxes that are compatible with the firearms being sold. The devices also must be designed to be unlocked by a key, combination, or similar means. The new regulation goes into effect February 3rd. A California jury has returned a verdict in the high-profile case of Elizabeth Holmes, a Silicon Valley corporate executive accused of swindling her investors. CBS's Danya Backus has the latest from Los Angeles.
A jury has found former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes guilty of 4 fraud and conspiracy charges. The 37-year-old was accused of duping patients and business partners about the company's technology by repeatedly claiming her testing device could scan for hundreds of diseases and other health issues with a simple finger prick. She was acquitted of 4 other felony charges while the jury remained deadlocked on 3. Here's what she told CBS's Nora O'Donnell in 2015.
Any cancer patient, any child, any elderly person whose veins collapse will tell you not having to have their blood drawn that way is a big deal.
But the blood testing technology was flawed, frequently producing inaccurate results. The company collapsed in 2016 after the problems were exposed. Holmes took the stand on her own behalf over several days. She broke down in tears describing how she was raped at Stanford, then how she was berated, bullied, and forced into sex by her business partner and live-in boyfriend, Sunny Balwani.
It's very compelling evidence, and it certainly goes to whether or not she could form the intent to defraud.
But prosecutors argued Holmes scammed her investors as she raised $900 million. Theranos also signed potentially lucrative deals with major retailers Safeway and Walgreens. Balwani did not testify. He faces trial on similar charges in February. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Holmes was once the youngest billionaire in the world. Coming up at 11, several parts of the country went from shorts and flip-flops to needing heavy coats and winter boots almost overnight to begin the new year.
And quite a chilly turn in the forecast, as Steve mentioned, after a very warm start to the year around these parts. I've got the latest on how long it all sticks around on the way.
All Kentucky driver licensing is moving from circuit clerk offices in every county.